Well, hello there, Retro PC Durham. It's Chris here with another video. We've got another box here, this lovely Dell Dimension E521. So this was part of the Dimension kind of budget PC series from Dell. The case is obviously very familiar. A lot of Dell, the Dimension series, followed the same thing where you got this, grill area here to allow air in and central cooling right across the processor. So this was a part of a budget series using some lower cost parts. In this case, Athlon AMD processors. But a great little machine for us to upgrade and get up and running for a simple Windows 10 machine. Front end system very standard. You get your power button, USB and audio ports. Still got a floppy drive in this system, so kind of shows its age, obviously. And then originally, I believe there was just a regular DVD-ROM drive in here, and I just swapped it out for a DVD multi-burner to kind of give it a little bit of extra usefulness. We'll flip around to the back, and I'll show the ports on the back here. So standard power supply. You got your bunch of audio ports. Some more USB ports and a LAN port on board on the motherboard. It did have onboard graphics, but of course we always try to not use this because the memory that's used for onboard graphics is either coming from the system memory or is very low. And in this case, I think it was very low and wasn't even able to use system memory. So we did install. There was an available PCI E slot, so we did install a graphics adapter into this to allow some additional functionality. I always say it was kind of a cool design. I like PCs that have a toolless design. So having a little handle that you pull here, right, and that'll release this side panel, makes it great for being able to open up these systems and service them. Now, obviously, that's starts off as being in a business setting where you want to have that to be able to quickly do service on machines, but it's nice on a home PC as well. So we'll take a look inside here. CPU is underneath this part here, right? You can see the ample heatsink on top of the CPU, and the system fan blows hot air right over that first to cool that part of the system. We have 4 memory DIMM slots. There was a maximum amount of memory the system is actually capable of handling, so I had to do some mixing and matching to get memory DIMMs that would work. And then, as I mentioned, we've got that PCIe slot, so we have this ATI video card installed in this system as well. And then a single hard disk drive. This is SATA hard disk drive here that we installed into this system, and there is room for a second drive. So, I mean, if you wanted to do further upgrades on this system to give it some more performance, you could put a solid state drive perhaps in here. Unfortunately, I don't think the memory capacity on this thing goes past 4 gig, and it's a dual-core, non-hyper-threaded processor. So you're really, there's only so much you're going to get out of it, but if you wanted to give it just that little bit of extra performance, you could. And obviously, a better video card would get you some additional performance as well. All right, just wanted to note one more thing is just, as part of the modular design on this, the power supply has got little clips to remove it, but it does have screws at the rear, so that's not completely toolless. But all of these other ports, so the floppy disk drive and the multimedia drive, these screws are actually just to hold it in place, and it's actually this clip system here that you can actually release it and remove the whole thing. So pretty cool. I like the way they do when systems are built like this, where it's not all just screw everything in. So let's get this wrapped back up and powered up. Okay, we are ready to go, I believe. Get powered on, I'll hit the button. So far, so good. So far, so good. We've got that Dell boot up, BIOS revision 1.1.4, which I'm pretty sure when I checked online that was the final revision that was available for this. There wasn't really anything spectacular that was done with the BIOS updates. I always find it's helpful to try and put the BIOS up to its latest version, just because we're loading Windows 10 on here. You never know. You never know what could or could go wrong with this system trying to run. So Windows will take its sweet time loading up here off of the mildly strained performance of this system. Of course, with these older machines, you're not expecting a heck of a lot of capability. It's just for basic compute use. You've got, for example, with, in the past couple months, kids having to be doing their school from home as opposed to being able to go to the classroom. So lots of e-learning on Google Classroom, etc. There you go. I think Windows is ready. We do have I do have the speaker plugged in today, so we're gonna turn that down a little bit so we could listen to some crab rave. So let's take a look at the hardware info. I double click that. Yeah, okay. Again, we're running a 32-bit version of Windows. Just given the age of the processor and the amount of maximum system memory that the system's going to be capable of holding, there's no reason to run the 64-bit version of Windows on here. So hardware info will do its thing, loading up all of its sensor data. And then we'll get a look at what's going on with this system. Let me pop these ones close. So we've got this Windsor codename AMD Athlon X64 4200 plus. So this is a dual-core, non-hyper-threaded processor running at a maximum of 2.2 gigahertz. Obviously, there's not really anything in the way of overclocking available on a machine like these. The motherboards just aren't built to do that type of stuff. So but again, I wouldn't be doing that on one of these systems anyways. You want to have things be as stable as possible, and you're not really going to be getting that much performance out of it with the rest of the speed of all the other components. 3 gigabits of memory on this system across the 4 memory DIMMs. So there's 2 1 gig DIMMs and 2 512 megabyte DIMMs in total. Again, I had a lot of trouble getting anything more working on this one. I couldn't actually get 4 gig of memory based on the DIMMs that I actually had, the DDR2 DIMMs that I have on level here. And then for the video card, we installed this Radeon HD 3670. And this is a 512 megabyte PCIe graphics card. Again, it's DDR2 SD-RAM, so it's pretty performance similar. But again, having a standalone video card is, it's a lot more helpful than the onboard video that would be on here. And then for the disk drive, just want to show off the life of this one. We'll scroll down to the smart data. So it's all in good shape. Green check marks across the board. What has it had here? 13,000 hours worth of life. So it's, it's been well cycled, but so far so good in terms of performance and safety on the analysis and reporting. So I think we're doing good there as far as that goes. All right. Let's open up the old Google Chrome here, and we're going to pop in and do the YouTube test, see how Crab Rave runs on this one. I wouldn't expect much in terms of performance, even though we've got that ATI video card, and it does have half a gig of memory in it, which for graphics acceleration is pretty decent. You should be able to easily do 720p or maybe 1080p. Unfortunately, with this processor, you are going to run into a bottleneck there, which seems to be the main issue that I find with these older machines in terms of where the performance takes a big hit. Is these older processors, even when they're a dual core or a single core hyper-threaded, well, single core hyper-threaded I think would probably be worse, but a dual core processor, the age that they're at in terms of how much computing capability they have, not just the raw speed, the raw frequency, and the amount of cores available. There's a lot more that goes into it having the additional instructions available on these systems. But at any rate, we will go through the Tim Hortons ad. Yum. And then we will have, again, apparently another ad for Amazon now. Go buy something from Amazon. And then we'll get the Crab Rave going here. So I'm going to pop to, I'm not going to bother with full screen. But we are going to see if we can push this up to 1080p. And see how poorly acts. So I can see right now, you can see the skipping and the loading issues. It definitely is going to struggle. And again, that's the processor that's having the trouble being able to handle putting the render job to work, essentially. It just can't handle the job. It's too big. So if we drop back down to 720p, I'm even seeing a little bit here. It's a little bit, even here it's a little bit slow. So if we skip ahead to where the jump up comes, yeah, you know what? This looks okay. So again, 720p performance on an older system that you need to be able to do some, simple online learning, web, maybe a Zoom meeting here or there. I know I'm going through the process right now where I've got to do the job hunting and just going through a bunch of Zoom webinars every second day from the employment service that I've got attached to. I've obviously got a machine that can handle that, but if you were in a situation where you maybe didn't because your job, you're not a technological person, you maybe only have a smartphone or a tablet or something at home, and you need to have a desktop computer to be able to, effectively work your LinkedIn page and do the online learning and these things. It's nice to know that if someone, had a PC that you could use for a little bit, that it would be able to actually handle that stuff. And that's basically what I'm trying to do here. So CrabRave works, system is ready to go. So we'll be finding a home for this in the next couple weeks, I hope. And we'll be continuing to get these systems in and out as we have the time. Well, I've got more time to do it now, but we'll continue to push these out the door as we get them donated and refurbished. For you, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any fond memories of a cheap Dell desktop PC, please feel free to share them in the comments below. And I will, hope that you as well are, keeping safe and healthy, and we will catch you in the next one.